This time we'll call the special meeting of the Haywood County Board of Education to order. And it looks like I've got a couple announcements. The next work session is this Thursday, May the 6th, down at the Education Center. And then, of course, the next regular board meeting is Monday, May the 10th at the Education Center. Does anyone have any agenda adjustments? If not, I'll ask approval of the May 3rd called virtual board agenda.
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
All right, Jimmy Rogers made the motion. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. And who seconded the motion, please?
Jim Francis.
Jim Francis. Okay. I think we do it by roll call, best I can recall. So we have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion or questions on the motion on the floor before we vote? There being none, we'll vote. David?
Yay.
Okay. Ronnie Clark?
Yay.
Mr. Francis?
Yay.
Mr. Henson?
Yay.
Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Yay.
Mr. Nesbitt?
Yay.
Dr. Rogers?
Yay.
Mr. Rogers?
Yay.
Okay. Motion carries unanimously, so the agenda has been adopted as presented. The next item and the only item on our agenda tonight is spectators at school events. This time, I will call on Dr. Nolte for an update.
Thank you, Mr. Francis and board members. I want to thank Mr. Francis for calling this meeting. Board members, I've shared with you a little information in advance. I'm going to cover just a little bit of that for people who may be listening to this recording later. Pat Smathers is also on this meeting, as he is with most board meetings, and he is conferred with us on this issue. So just a little quick context, and then we'll give it back to you for your discussion and possible action. As we have moved into May, which is the last full month of school for the 2021 school year, we've had a lot of conversations with students and parents and people in the community, staff members, about end-of-year events, traditional end-of-year events. And when school returned in person last fall, one of the biggest limitations was parents and other visitors being limited to campus and limited to events that we were having, primary athletic events. Then in the early fall, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, with the support of the governor and many other state officials, opened up groups of small groups of spectators to attend sporting events. The initial numbers were based upon 7%, only 7% of the seating capacity. In February, after the winter surge, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and state officials increased participation at athletic events to 30%. And then after we were able to bring all students back on Plan A, that changed to 50% capacity in our venues, indoor and outdoor, 50% of the venue's capacity. The unfairness of these rules is probably best illustrated by the fact that we can have a group of parents walk into a lobby of one of our high schools, turn right, go in our big gym, one of our big gyms, and watch an athletic event. However, that same group of parents could not turn left and go into the auditorium to watch a non-athletic event. Like I said, I have talked to a lot of people about this. Some of you, Mr. Smathers, you may want to ask him questions later, but I've talked to him about it. And what I do at this time is come to you and ask you to authorize me to use the North Carolina High School Athletic Association spectator rules for non-athletic events that normally have spectators this time of year. Like I said, I have conferred with your attorney, Pat Smathers. If you take this action and approve this request, we would have the ability to have 50% spectator capacity in our venues. Just a couple examples: 3,500 spectators in the stadiums, even for a non-athletic event. In our large gyms, 463 spectators. In our high school auditoriums, 250 spectators. Masks are still required inside school facilities and on campus during the day. If you authorize the use of the athletic rules for all student activities that might have spectators outside and after school, masks are not required, but they are encouraged. So I'll pause at this time, Mr. Francis, and turn it back over to you and the board.
Okay. Do any board members have any questions for Dr. Bill or for Mr. Smathers?
Motion to approve is requested.
Okay, we have a motion from Dr. Rogers to approve the presentation about the spectators for non-athletic events. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I heard Jimmy Rogers second at first, I do believe. Was that correct, Jimmy?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, so we have a motion from Dr. Rogers and a motion seconded by Jimmy Rogers to approve as presented. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor?
Francis, let me just add one thing.
Okay.
Y'all are on firm ground here. Governor Cooper issued his latest order, and it's Governor's Order 209. And if you go to section, Google it, go to that Governor Cooper Order 209. If you go to section 3.2, C, the occupancy is really half of the rated fire code. I mean, if you got an occupancy rate on the fire code, you go half of that. And then that's for overall assemblies everywhere. And then section 5.2A makes it specifically to incorporate education. So you're good. And that became effective at 5 p.m. on Friday.
Well, I appreciate the clarification on that because I just wanted to hear it in my head how we kind of work through this. Okay. Any other questions or comments before we vote?
Mr. Chairman, I'd have one comment as well. I'd also done a little checking on that too, and I thank you, Mr. Smathers, for the input. But yeah, I think we're ready to roll with this thing. I think it's a good idea. And thank you, Dr. Hogan, and your staff for working on this because those children deserve just as much as and athletics. Those are just as important to both the of us and their education abilities. And I think it worked out real well. So thank you for that. Yeah, and like I say, I've checked a few legislators, and I said I think that you should roll with it.
Okay. Any other comments? Now we're going to vote by roll call. We'll start with Mr. Burnett.
Yay.
Okay, Mr. Clark.
Yay.
Mr. Francis.
Yay.
Mr. Henson.
Yay.
Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Yay.
Mr. Nesbitt.
Yay.
Dr. Rogers.
Yay.
Jimmy Rogers.
Yay.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Dr. Bill, if you would let the public know the decision of the board tonight through a press release or whatever means you need to do so we can make sure that these concerts and other activities are allowed in our community.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. Thank you again, board, for meeting and affirming that decision. I will continue to remind people that masks are required inside, and they're strongly encouraged out, but not required. I appreciate everyone who's given us feedback. I know you all have received a lot of feedback, like I have people. And throughout COVID, we've certainly been faced with a lot of challenges and perplexing regulations, but I'm certainly proud of the board, the staff, and the community because we have focused on students and consistently found a very logical path forward. Thank you again, board.
Thank you all. There's nothing else to come before the board this evening. We will.
Mr. Francis, let me
Yes.
just, before you go off the record here, I was just going to let everybody know Tuscola softball made the playoffs on a wild card, so they was going to meet Alexander Central today, but it got rescheduled for tomorrow, and I reckon that's right around Taylorsville down there. So they got a 14th seed in the first round of the playoffs for the softball 3A. So they will start their way to the state championship tomorrow, hopefully.
Very good. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the Lady Mounties there, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, they played their heart out. To be a shortened season and the teams that they had to play, they scratched and clawed and they got the bid. So hopefully they'll get to make a good run at it. So we sure are proud of them. I am anyway. So
We all are. We all are. Well, thanks for letting us know. And there being nothing else, which that was good news, meeting adjourned.